students, in the last video we talked about literal and figurative meaning in literature, and specifically we took up the poem Daffodils and we explored the literal language in that poem. Today we are going to explore the figurative meaning in the same poem Daffodils by Wordsworth. So let's have a quick recap of the last session. We talked about the difference between literal and figurative language. As discussed earlier, literal language is something that is related to words and phrases that convey information precisely and factually. Whatever is given in the sentence, that is the actual meaning of that sentence or phrase. That is the meaning of literal interpretation. Now moving to the figurative language, it composes of expressions where words do not indicate their meaning at face value. They are something different. They are something deeper. How? We are going to talk about that today as well. In literal language, when we understand language literally, we interpret words in the straightforward and everyday sense. In a layman's language, you can say it's just the dictionary meaning that we get from the literal meaning of any sentence, any phrase, any text or any poem. Whereas figurative language are words that are used in a way that deviates from their conventional meaning. Rather, they create a more profound and imaginative impact. And we'll have a look at the example. You can see the visual. There's a girl who has stuffed so much material in her suitcase. Now, if I have to express it literally, I would say something like this. She packed a lot of things in her suitcase. But just to create a more deep and impactful sentence, I would say she packed everything but the kitchen sink in her suitcase. So this sentence quite creates an impression and differentiation between the literal and figurative language. As we discussed in the last video, the poem Daffodils by Wordsworth, we also talked about the poet and also the literal meaning of this poem. Just to have a quick recap, when we discussed the literal meaning of this poem, we talked about the scenes, the colors and the objects that were mentioned in the poem. Yes, the poem was about the bright, vibrant daffodil flowers, which the poet goes around the field and enjoys that particular scene. So this comprises of the literal meaning. Now, what is the figurative meaning of this poem? Now, when we are talking about the figurative elements, we have to explore the emotions that are aroused after reading that poem. We have to also talk about the themes and the broader message that the poet wants to convey through his layered poem. So, we'll talk about the poem first. What is it all about in general sense? The poem describes the poet's encounter with a vast field of golden daffodils while walking alone. The flowers swaying and dancing in the breeze leave a deep impression on him. Actually, he enjoys this sight of beautiful yellow daffodils flowers, and although he doesn't realize it at that time when he's watching those flowers, but after some time he thinks about those flowers and it actually creates a deep impact on him. And from here we are going to explore the figurative meaning of this simple poem. Later, when he feels lonely and when he is upset, the memory of the daffodils comes back to his mind and fills his heart with pleasure and lifting his sad spirits. So his mood transforms from sadness to something of happiness and something of a great mood. The poem emphasizes the power of nature to inspire and uplift the human soul. Finally, the poem celebrates the beauty of nature. Here, nature is being glorified. It is celebrated. It is considered a superpower that provides solace and happiness, transforming moments of solitude into experiences of joy and connection. Connection with the higher self, connection with the higher power. So this is something I have touched the figurative element, but I'll explore further. Now, when we talk about daffodils, do you think why the poet has used these flowers, daffodils? Why not rose? Why not sunflower? So there is something special about daffodils that the poet wants you to know. And what is it? Daffodils are vibrant yellow flowers with trumpet-shaped petals. This is a literal meaning. And They are associated with spring. They symbolize renewal and nature's awakening. You are aroused to something positive, something elevated, something transcendental. And in literature, daffodils represent beauty, hope, and life's joy. So daffodils are associated with something positive, something great, something that uplifts your soul. Hence the use of these flowers, daffodils. Now let's talk about the theme of the poem. Now the primary theme of this poem is the profound and restorative power of nature. Nature is the greatest gift and blessing to mankind. It has the power to heal our miseries and make us lively again. I'm sure students, even you must have enjoyed the company of nature when you feel upset or sad. So this is same scenario that was created by William Wordsworth through this poem, Daffodils. So this is the theme of the poem. Now moving ahead, the emotions. Can you see the poet experiences a gamut of emotions? First, when he is walking through the field, he experiences loneliness, melancholy. Then he moves to surprise and delight when he watches these bright, vibrant daffodil flowers. Then he is inspired and he is in awe and admiration of this natural beauty. Finally, in the end, he becomes reflective and tranquil. He becomes calm and composed. And finally, he has a sense of gratitude and appreciation of nature. So, the poem transitions from loneliness to joy, awe and tranquility, highlighting nature's uplifting impact on the human spirit. Finally, students, what is the broader message that William Wordsworth wants us to understand? So again, it is a message about the transformative and enduring power of nature's beauty, the importance of memory and deep emotional and spiritual connection humans can have with the natural world. So this is the theme, this is the message, and these are the emotions that are aroused after reading the poem Daffodils. So this is the figurative meaning of the poem. And if we talk about in specific, what are the figurative elements being used in this poem? There is a huge number of elements that have been used. As you can see, we have alliteration, hyperbole, simile, personification, repetition, symbolism, imagery, enjambment, and metaphor, all in this poem Daffodils. And how I am picking up these examples for you. If we talk about simile, he says, I wandered lonely as a cloud. It is a simile used here. Then talking about personification, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, as if flowers are human beings. They are fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Imagery, a host of golden daffodils, continuous as the stars that shine, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Examples of alliteration that we can find are high over vales and hills and dances with the daffodils. We can see the repetition of D sound here. Hyperbole, 10,000 saw I at a glance. Enjambment, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. Finally, repetition, dances word is being repeated, and gaze and gaze. So these are examples of figurative elements being used in this poem Daffodils. So I'm sure students, now you have understood what I actually mean by the deeper meaning of the poem or the metaphorical meaning of the poem, or when I talk about the figurative symbolism and the figurative language that is being used in the poem. And now, as usual, the most interesting task is here for you. You have to explore this poem, you have to reread this poem and find out what are daffodils compared to in the poem and what effect does this comparison create. You have to identify some more instances of figurative language and reflect on how these contribute to the overall meaning of the poem. Finally, identify the rhyme scheme of the poem. Students, I'm sure you must have enjoyed this video, and now when you read any poem, any text, you will dig deeper into the meaning and read between the lines and hence enjoy literature to a more meaningful level. With that note, I end the session. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.